Hi, everyone. I'm Jack. Thanks for joining us. We're talking about something we all deal with, uh, failure. It's not always easy, but we've got Elena here. She's going to help us see how failure can actually help us succeed.
Hi, everyone. I'm Elena. Excited to be here.
Yeah. We often see those successful people, right? Actors, business people, they seem perfect, like they never mess up. But
It's not always what it seems. Everyone makes mistakes, even those super successful people.
yeah, it makes sense.
Like Denzel Washington. He's a great example. He talks about how fear of failing can stop you from even trying.
Yeah, if you're too scared to fail, you might not try anything new.
Right. And he also talks about how it's the love of success that pushes you. When you really want something, you keep trying, even when you fail.
Makes you think of that John C. Maxwell quote. He's a famous author. He said, if you're not failing, you're probably not moving forward.
Yeah, exactly. It means you got to challenge yourself, right? Get out of that comfort zone, try new things.
And when you try new things, you're bound to fail sometimes. Like learning to ride a bike, you're going to fall a few times.
It's like that with anything new, yeah. Starting a business, learning a language, even trying a new recipe. You'll make mistakes, but that's how you learn.
I like how Tom Watson, he was the CEO of IBM, he thought about it. He said to try and double your failure rate sounds kind of crazy.
But it makes sense if you think about it, right? He knew failure meant you were trying new things, pushing your limits. If you're not failing, you're not learning.
Exactly. And Denzel Washington, he also talks about how you gotta you gotta love success enough to be willing to fail. Like you gotta want it so bad that you're not afraid to mess up along the way.
Right.
He tells a great story about this man named Robert. Robert loved walking more than he feared falling. He knew he might stumble, but he just enjoyed walking so much that he kept going.
It's about the journey, not just the destination.
Exactly. And I was talking to this YouTube expert, and she had a similar story. She was struggling in college at first, felt like she wasn't as smart as everyone else.
Yeah, college can be tough, especially at first.
She kept comparing herself to other people and feeling bad.
It's easy to do that, but it doesn't help.
Right. And she eventually realized that she just learns differently. It wasn't that she was a failure. She just needed to find a different way to learn. And once she figured that out, she started doing much better.
That's great. She turned it around.
Yeah. And she didn't stop there. Even after figuring out how she learned best, she still faced other challenges, businesses that failed. She got rejected from jobs.
That's life, isn't it? It's full of ups and downs.
Yeah. But here's the amazing thing. She learned from every experience. Each failure taught her something new, helped her grow, and eventually she became really successful.
That's what it's about, not letting setbacks define you.
Exactly. Her story shows it's not about avoiding failure. It's about, like, changing how we think about it, seeing it as feedback.
Like Albert Einstein said, anyone who has never made a mistake has never tried anything new.
So true. Those mistakes, those failures, they teach us valuable lessons. We learn what doesn't work, which helps us figure out what does.
It's all part of the process.
And it doesn't have to be these huge, life-changing events. It could be small, everyday things, right? Like
Hmm.
trying a new recipe, and it doesn't turn out quite right, or you forget to send an important email,
Yeah, those little mistakes, they happen all the time.
right? But we can learn so much from them.
They're valuable, because they happen more often. We get more chances to learn and grow.
So it sounds like what we're learning here is failure is basically guaranteed on the road to success.
But we shouldn't be scared of it.
We should, like, embrace it, you know, expect to make mistakes and learn from them.
And if we're not failing at least a little bit, we're probably not pushing ourselves enough.
So we've talked about how failure is a natural part of the process, but I'm curious, how does failure make us stronger?
Yeah, it's interesting, right? Facing these challenges, it can actually make us tougher.
Yeah, it makes you more resilient. Like going through those tough times, it's like you build up a thicker skin.
Exactly, yeah. When you face a problem and then you find a solution, it just makes you more confident. You realize you can handle things, even when they're tough.
It's like those video games. Every time you overcome a challenge, you level up, you get stronger.
I like that, the video game analogy. It reminds me of this Winston Churchill quote. I think it really fits. He said, "Success is walking from failure to failure with no loss of enthusiasm."
Oh, that's a great quote. Yeah, you got to keep that energy, that passion, even when things don't go your way.
Don't let it get you down.
Yeah, don't let it get you down.
It's about seeing failure as that stepping stone. You learn, you keep moving.
Denzel Washington talks about that too. He says, you'll fail many times, but it's okay because failure isn't permanent.
It's so important to remember that.
Yeah. You're not defined by those failures. It's how you react to them, you know?
It's all about the bounce back.
And when you realize that, that failure isn't the end of the world, it kind of frees you up to take more chances, right?
Yeah.
You're not so afraid to try those new things. Because even if it doesn't work out, you'll learn something.
You're not so worried about making mistakes.
Exactly. And that reminds me of this idea of intelligent failures. I think it was a Duke University professor, Sim Sitkin, who came up with that.
Intelligent failures, yeah. Those are the ones that teach us something, help us improve.
They're not just mistakes. It's like you figure out what went wrong so you can do it better next time.
Right. Successful people, they're really good at spotting those intelligent failures and learning from them.
They own their mistakes.
Yeah, they don't try to hide them. They admit to them and try to understand why they happened.
And that's important, right? Because then everyone can learn.
Exactly. It helps the whole team get better.
It creates a culture where it's okay to mess up as long as you're learning. It's about progress, not being perfect.
And that makes me think of something, Apoorv Dubey, he's a CEO and an author. He talks about the importance of that one last attempt.
Oh, that's interesting. Yeah, that one last try.
Not giving up too soon. Sometimes you just need to push a little harder, see if you can make it work.
It's that final push that can make the difference.
Exactly.
But embracing failure doesn't mean you're not being careful or reckless.
It's not about making mistakes on purpose.
Right.
You still got to try your best.
But you have to have a healthy view of failure, understanding it's part of life and that you can actually use it to your advantage.
It's about having the guts to try new things, you know?
Oh!
Even when you're not sure if you'll succeed.
Because even if you fail,
You learn something.
you learn something.
You grow.
And like Denzel Washington said, loving success means you're willing to fail many times to succeed once.
You got to be willing to put yourself out there.
Yeah. So we're really talking about changing our perspective on failure, seeing it as that stepping stone to success.
Yeah, I think it's really important for our listeners to think about something they've always wanted to do but been afraid to because they're worried about failing.
Oh, yeah. What's that one thing they've been putting off because they're scared it might not work out?
It could be anything. Starting a business, learning a new skill, maybe traveling to a new place.
It doesn't have to be some big, crazy thing, just something they've been dreaming of.
Yeah, but haven't had the courage to go after.
So what's the smallest step? What's that first step they could take today?
Yeah, it doesn't have to be a big jump, just something small to get you moving.
Right.
And remember, failure isn't about never making mistakes. It's about how you handle those mistakes, learn from them, and come back stronger.
It's like Denzel Washington says, life is unpredictable. You could die tomorrow. So, why not chase those dreams today?
Exactly. At least you can say you tried, right?
Yeah. You never know what might happen.
You might surprise yourself. Find some hidden talents,
Exactly. And even if you don't reach that final goal, you still learn and grow along the way.
It's all about the journey.
So don't let that fear stop you. Take that first step.
Embrace those mistakes.
And see how they can actually lead you to success.
This has been fun.
This was great, Elena. Thanks so much for joining us.
Thanks for having me.
And to all our listeners, thanks for being here. We hope this has helped you see failure a little differently.
Remember, everyone makes mistakes. It's how you deal with them that counts.
So go out there, try new things. Don't be afraid to mess up.
And remember,
Embrace those failures.
they're stepping stones
to success.